Hey, what's up? This is Chosen. Hope you're having a fantastic day. And in this one, we are going to do the 2023 Raid Shadow Legends. What order should you be prioritizing the different stats in your Great Hall? I will also show you a little graphic about the order that I maxed my Great Hall and give you a little bit of reflection on that. And we'll dive into each stat and what it is like early game, mid game, end game, and why you should be prioritizing certain ones over others. So let's get into it. Alrighty, now first of all, the maximum Great Hall, a little bit of a trivia question here. The maximum Great Hall development level is 240. That is because we have got the 4 different affinities and then 6 different stats on each one, and they each go to level 10. So you've got the 6 times 4 is 24 different categories that all go to 10, and there is your Great Hall development level of 240. And I want to pull up this this infographic here that I put together back when I maxed out my Great Hall, which we are coming up on 2 years ago that I maxed my Great Hall. The time flies. That is absolutely insane. But what this shows is the start date. So I started about March 20th on playing Raid, and then it took me a few months to get into Gold 4, which back then when I made this graphic and back when I was maxing out my Great Hall, Gold 4 was the highest league. They have since then added Gold 5 and also Platinum Arena. But back then, that's why this graphic shows Gold 4. It took me a couple months to get to the point where I was farming some of the medals there in Gold 4. And then after that point, it took me over here to March 27th of 2021. So about exactly 2 years, from March of 2019 to March of 2021, to fully max out my Great Hall and hit that maximum development level of 240. And then down on the bottom right is going to be the order that I personally did the stats and maxed them out. But I want to talk about in this video, am I right? Was the best order accuracy, defense, HP, crit damage, attack, resistance? Would I do it differently if I started the game now in 2023 and embarked on that journey to max my Great Hall and kind of revisit the order of the stats to prioritize? And I think the first one that the most unanimous recommendation has to be is accuracy. Accuracy is just so crucial for your progression. You need to be placing poisons against the clan boss. You need to be attack breaking bosses like the dragon and placing defense break to clear the waves. And your campaign farmer needs to be able to place those poisons as KO or whoever it is to progress, or Aethel placing the weekends and stuff like that. So, and not only accuracy, but magic affinity accuracy is usually going to be the route to go. KO is the most commonly picked starting champion, and he obviously needs accuracy for the poisons and stuff. And then also the magic affinity is the most common affinity in the game. Another little trivia for you, magic affinity is the most common one. So you're going to get a little bit more value out of the stats there because it's your starting champion and it's also the most common affinity. So you'll probably end up with a lot of magic affinity champions. Oh, and look who it is. Neo wants to join us. Okay, you can go ahead and join us, buddy. You want to talk about the Great Hall? Okay, so, yeah, anyway, I don't think you're going to get much argument on the accuracy front. Also, you are not going to be able to farm good banners for a long time when you're kind of trying to progress. So any of those bonus points you're going to get in accuracy is going to be insanely crucial to your progression in the early and mid game. So there won't be much disagreement there on accuracy. Now, for the second stat, this might be a hot take, but, you know, I did defense on my infographic. I think I would recommend crit damage being the next priority, because crit damage is going to, it's going to help you get to a point where you can clear higher stages in the campaign quicker and maybe get to a point where you're clearing the campaign faster than you otherwise would if you weren't prioritizing that crit damage. But also, we want to be getting stats that help us take full advantage of a life steal gear, because life steal is going to be absolutely crucial for you in the early and mid game. Crit damage means that our progression champions we're building are going to be hitting harder. They're going to be doing more damage. Thus, they're going to be double dipping and getting more value by healing more if they're wearing the lifesteal set. So they'll have a little bit more sustain to help us progress into content, live a little bit longer in the clan boss and all that type of stuff. So I think I would go accuracy and then crit damage. For number 3 in that same vein, I would probably go defense, because when we scale up defense, a lot of times we're going to be choosing champions like like a Tyrell or something that scales with defense, because defense pairs so well with the lifesteal set. The harder that our health is to remove, the more impactful the leech effect is that we are doing while we are attacking, because obviously if they're hitting us softer, the healing that we're doing is thus more impactful and it's worth more hit points. So I'd probably start there as the unanimous top 3: accuracy, crit damage, and defense. And then after that, we kind of hit a next tier that can depend on you and your account and where you're at. I think there's a case to be made for attack, because it will help you do more damage against the clan boss, like the demon lord, and it will also help you progress in the campaign to be a little bit more efficient with your energy. But if you're using like a Tyrell or something as your campaign farmer, then it might make sense to go with HP or something and prioritize that over the attack. It just kind of depends on where you're at on your account. You kind of hit that next tier after attack, crit damage, and defense, where I think you go HP and attack after that. And I do still think that resistance comes in last place. Resistance is an amazing stat, and it's actually one of the more powerful stats in terms of how the game calculates your overall power. So you see up on the top left that 20.4 million account power. Resistance actually weighs in very heavily to that, because obviously if people can't debuff you, that is insanely impactful. So it's not like resistance is a bad stat and you don't want it. It's just that in terms of progression, you really need to be cranking out damage. You need to be able to sustain yourself with those lifesteal sets in the early game. You need to be able to clear the campaign, and you know, the resistance kind of comes down the road a little bit later once you have a more optimized roster. So if you forced me to just pick an order and not be a fence sitter, I'm gonna place them 1 through 6. I would go number 1, accuracy; number 2, crit damage; number 3, defense; number 4, HP; number 5, attack; and then last place at number 6, I would go with resistance. It's an amazing stat and you will want it, but it's a little bit towards the end game instead of the progression phase. So that is my 1 through 6. Feel free to let me know down below if you agree or disagree, and where you agree and disagree. And then also, very importantly, do not neglect your Great Hall. It is a very, very important aspect of the game, and it is very consistent stats for you. So, you know, I've even seen like end game players that are like, you know, I go like multiple weeks without even bothering in the arena. You really don't want to do that. You want to at least use your free battles. I'm not saying to go out and buy a bunch of classic arena refills or anything, but you do want to at least do your free battles. Even if you only win 30 or 40% of them, that is progress, and that is free stats for you to get you know, headed towards maxing out the 240 development level of the Great Hall. And look at this, I have 47,000 arena medals. Hopefully someday we can trade these in, you know, like 10,000 medals for a Siffy or something. I mean, why not? We can dream, right? But anyway, it would be great to someday get these, but admittedly it's not a priority, because you know, maxing out the Great Hall is more of an end game thing, and I do want Plarium to prioritize helping the players that are new and helping the players that are still progressing. So maybe someday I will get to spend these 47,000 arena medals on something. We can only wait and see. So as always, remember to subscribe on your way out if you enjoy daily Raid Shadow Legends content. I appreciate you, and I will see you soon in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching. Peace.